Greetings. Welcome to the Into the Cypher podcast. I'm your host, Cypher Da MC, the Muhammad Ali of MCs. Once again, back with you. Hopefully everyone is having a good weekend so far. I know we're coming up on the work week. I know. Trust me. It's not something that you're looking forward to, possibly. But by the same token, you're still here. I'm glad that you're here. You could have been anywhere in the world. You're likely anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Shout out to Jay-Z on that one. So today's episode is Men, Your Happiness and Peace Counts Too. Your happiness and peace counts too. But before we get into that, of course, we got to get our disclaimers out the way. You know how we do. For those that have been rocking with your boy for the past year, you know what we have to do. We have to get these disclaimers out the way. And of course, just to let you know, I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a family therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have any master's degrees or doctorates from Harvard. I am just a regular, say it with me, Joe Schmo. Just a regular guy. Just giving you the benefit of his experiences. I'm not on a soapbox, not here to preach at you, because we're on this journey together. What journey? To become the best version of ourselves, so that way we can fulfill our purpose that the Creator has set for us on this earth. So with that being said, we're going to jump right back into it and everything. So get your popcorn ready, and we're just going to get right into it. So I don't want to say it's a trend. I don't want to say it's a trend because trends tend to come and go. There has been a recent surgence, so to speak, of videos on TikTok where men, posted by men, of course, basically opening up in a certain way, basically saying exactly how they are feeling. Now, these are not particular, specific men saying, hey, this is men of different shades, of different nationalities, of different colors, saying basically what a lot of men are afraid to say. And I say fear, and I'll get into that later, are afraid to say to those that are closest to us. And then basically saying the same things, why we don't open up, why we don't communicate, why don't we share, why don't we feel the need to go above and beyond as much as we did before in the past, like past generations and things of that nature. And I want to applaud the women who are echoing these same sentiments of men, the same exasperation, comments and things of that nature that the men in general are dealing with and are confronting and bringing to the forefront, because it's very difficult to kind of as a man say, hey, I'm unhappy with this or I'm unhappy with that. Why, you say? I'm glad you asked. It's very difficult because we as men are not expected to either share our feelings or to really have them. Now just hear me out. If a man says, you know what, I want to address something that you said yesterday, this is how I feel, and he tells his significant other or that friend or that family member, hey, this is how I felt about what you said yesterday or what you did, and things of that nature. If there is a kind of, if this happens on a consistent basis, he may not be looked at in the same way. Now it's going to be talk, well, I got to watch what I say around so-and-so. He's sensitive. I have to watch what I say around, I have to watch what I do around, so-and-so because, he gets into his feelings. And as funny as that may sound, it's based in some truth, because for a long time, men have been viewed as just almost being robotic. As long as we do several functions, we're men. That is it. Bottom line, we could, we could, do anything, and we could do nothing else but serve in those manners. Just be, provide, protect, listen. But when it comes to there being a time to listen to us, now it seems like society wants to shun us, and well, you're not a man because you want to share your feelings. You're not a man because you want to, you're opening up in this manner. So for the most part, most men don't do it, or most men don't feel comfortable doing it. As mentioned in the last episode, there has to be an area of trust that a man feels with the individuals that he cares about, that he loves. There has to be an area of trust that I can trust you to listen to what I'm saying and not be judged after. So today's episode is pretty much dealing with, man, your happiness and peace counts as well. And we're going to break it down so that way we can kind of get a better understanding and things of that nature. So what does it mean? Or what does being happy or what does having peace mean to you as a man? I can't answer this for all men because it's going to vary for each individual man. So I'm asking, I'm asking each man to look within themselves and ask yourself, well, what does being happy mean to you? Like what factors or what constitutes you being happy? And for a lot of men who still have the, part of that old style mentality, and I myself am one of them, being happy means I'm happy that I can take care of my family. I'm happy that I can pay my bills. I'm happy that, I can do what I can when I can for those that I love and care about. Whether it be friends, family, significant other, what have you. I can, I'm happy that I can actually do that. And that depends on the person, of course. And, you have to be honest and transparent with yourselves. We should all do that. But men especially, if you're unhappy at the moment, if you're dealing with, certain factors in your household or in your marriage or in your relationship, whether it be a family relationship or relationship with your significant other, if you're unhappy, then you have to be transparent with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Like, okay, let me look at myself first. Why am I not, happy when I see this person, or when I spend time with this person, or when I'm around this person? Am I happy around them? Do they make me smile? When I think of them, do I smile? Do I frown? Do I whatever? You have to be honest and transparent with yourself. So I ask each and every man listening, you have to do that first. Now, let's be clear. There is a difference between happiness and joy. Wait, you didn't know? Yeah, let me break it down for you. There is a difference between happy and joy, even though they both constitute a positive, almost euphoric feeling of gladness within oneself. And here's what I mean. Happiness pretty much is based off of external factors. I'm not going to break down the definition of happiness or what have you. You can Google that, go to dictionary and all that sort of stuff. But happiness is based off of external factors. For instance, let's say you are, is coming up on a pay week. You're low on cash and things of that nature. You're thinking about maybe a concert or a game or maybe something you want to buy or what have you. Hey, this is a pay week. I get paid on Friday. Oh man, I'm happy about that. That mere thought of being, compensated for the work that you do brings about that moment, no matter how fleeting, of happiness. Of course, you got bills and everything like that, but I don't want to bring you down. But again, that's one of the external factors. I got to pay this, or I got to pay that. Oh man. Joy, on the other hand, lasts longer. There'll be, those that pick up on this, and there'll be those that may get it a little bit later. But joy lasts longer. It's more faith-based. It's not based on those same external factors that cause us to fluctuate up and down as human beings, emotion-wise. Joy lasts much longer, which basically means, hey, no matter what, good or bad, I'm good. I have joy, because this is not going to last always. What I'm dealing with is not going to last always. It's not going to last for a long period of time. It may seem like it. Whatever it is I'm going through, it may seem like it, but it's not. And that's the difference between joy and happiness, and we must know the difference between the two. And before we continue any further, we're going to have a word here from our affiliate from creditrentboost.com. Are you someone that is ready to strike out on their own and get their first apartment? You and your roommates are all ready and set to go to live the good life and pretty much get your life started? Or are you about to leave college and looking for a new place to live in a new city with your new degree? Well, guess what? There's a company called Credit Rent Boost that will allow you to get credit for the rent that you pay and get it reported to the credit bureaus. This will not only allow you to boost your credit, but also set you up long term, so when you are ready to make your first purchase as a homeowner. So give them a try. creditrentboost.com, and you can use promotion code OVM24522. It may be the best decision you ever made. So the main question, the meat and potatoes, so to speak. Men, ask yourself, why do you think or feel that you don't have this? Why do you think that you don't feel happy or have a sense of peace? And peace is basically not peace and quiet. Not peace and quiet, but rather peace of mind. Knowing that no matter what you're dealing with, you can trust that this person or these individuals that you are around, that have the most interactions with you, that they value how you feel. They value you as an individual. And no matter what your title is or role that you play, whether you're father, husband, uncle, mentor, brother, what have you, you are first blank, your name here. So if you're a Stephen, a Jim, a John, you're Jim, you're John, you're Stephen first. Michael, Adrian, Austin, you're that individual first before you are a husband, brother, because that is who you are. That's the base version of you. Those are not the add-ons that society or you yourself have interlocked yourself with other people. You're you first. So you have to be looked at as an individual first. Much less like you don't want to, we always say, the wife has to do this, the wife has to do that. She has to take care of the kids and things of that nature. But what about the woman behind being a wife, behind being a mother, behind being, the doctor or the architect or whatever role that she has outside of the home? She's an individual first. She would want to be looked at as Pam or Shirley or Brenda first, rather than just look at the title associated with her. Ladies, men are the very same way. Most may not admit it. Most may not even have thought of it. We don't want to be looked at as a title first. We may address certain individuals, with their title because we've associated that with who they are. If on a personal level we can address them as individuals, then yes, but we may feel it out of character in society's eyes to address a pastor, anything other than, Pastor Jimmy or Pastor John or what have you. We can't just call them Jimmy or John unless we know them on a personal level. But behind him being a pastor, behind him being a president of a bank, behind him being that police officer or that fireman or whatever, there is an individual behind there that has to look at himself, be honest and transparent. Why do I not feel that I am happy? Why do I feel that I don't have peace of mind? Some may say, well, it doesn't matter as long as I'm able to take care of my family. That's what my father did. That's what my grandfather did. That's what I'm going to do. Well, you can still take care of your family, or, those that love you and those that you love, but not at the sacrifice of losing yourself in the process. See, I realize, and this is kind of what really kind of bothers me, is that many of us men, we tend to hold on to what society thinks of us. Like if society sees us, well, you're a man, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. I hate that word supposed to. It's like it's conjoined together. It's like can and cannot. And we make a contraction with can't. I'm tired of supposed to. I'm tired of supposed to. I want to get that word, air quotes there, banned from the dictionary, because it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility. Yes, I have a responsibility to make sure that, my children know right from wrong. I have a responsibility to make sure that my children know the impact or consequences of their actions. Because if I don't tell them this, now I'm held accountable. Now we're getting into accountability. And that's a totally another different topic that I'm going to address at some point. But yeah, there's accountability and responsibility. So society will say, hey, you have a responsibility to take care of your children. If you father children, you have a responsibility to take care of them. I totally agree with that. I should be, taking care of, this life that I helped bring into the world. But let's also look at, in doing so, society will say, as long as you are taking care of this child, it's of little consequence whether or not you're happy or not. You pretty much give that up when you father a child, or you're interlocked with other people, and you make those bonds, and you have those bonds that you grow up with. So that leads most men to think, I have to sacrifice me being happy so others can be happy, others can be fulfilled. But then we want to be asked, what is on your mind? Why are you unhappy? Or what's wrong? And a lot of times most people do not realize just what a man deals with or has to shoulder. And this is not to say that women don't have to shoulder much or deal with much, because you do. You really do. All I'm saying is that, men, we have to realize that what we are should be valued as well. Our peace of mind needs to be valued as well. Our happiness should be valued as well. Because we want to work towards joy. We want to work towards joy and everything. But we have to master ourselves first. We have to master being happy. We have to master those things so that when we go out into the world and people see us and interact with us, they're not looking at us and wondering, what's wrong with Jim? He didn't seem like himself. What do you mean he didn't seem like himself? He wasn't smiling. He wasn't, interacting. It looks like something was on his mind. Those are the times when a man is either thinking to himself or feeling within himself, what am I doing? Why is it that I cannot get the same feeling of happiness that I see other men have? What am I doing that I can't have some peace when I get home? Why do I have to argue or be drawn into an argument about something I haven't done, or I didn't do well enough, or I didn't take care of soon enough? But yet the other 12, 13 things that no one knows that I took care of, and they're enjoying the life that I'm bringing, that I'm sustaining for them, I don't get any type of thank you for that. I don't get any type of appreciation for that. Now it's we're not talking about appreciation as, parades have to be thrown or things of that nature. But let's really think about it. Men are really only celebrated on very few occasions, at least for the most part. Now, I'm sure there are some men that are possibly celebrated more often than others. There's different ends of the spectrum, of course. We're going to take that into consideration. But we're going to talk about the vast majority of the population of men that do what they're supposed to do, handle what they're supposed to handle, deal with whatever they have to deal with externally, and still have to come home and fight a battle. Ladies, a man should not have to come home and argue with you over something that should be either clear or concise if the roles are defined within your relationship. He shouldn't have to fight outside the home and fight within the home either. I mean, this goes for men as well. Women should have to deal with what they have to deal with outside of the home and come back to the home and argue and fight and fuss and fight on the home front, because there's no place of peace. There's no place of peace, either internal or external. So that is something that we, as men, we need to work on, is first being transparent and honest with ourselves. We need to get to that point where we can evaluate ourselves and say, you know what, am I happy? Do I have any joy? Am I working towards this? Or is this something I need to address and work on? So stay tuned. I greatly appreciate you tuning in today's episode. Next week's episode is going to be pretty much a continuation, but a separate episode, Finding Joy Within Yourself, how to do so. So thank you for tuning in. It's your boy Cypher Da MC, the Muhammad Ali of MCs. Oh my gosh, can't believe I messed that up. And as always, before you love anyone else, you must first love yourself. Cypher.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is I will not lose.
Enter the cypher with your light.